Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing what makes an ex come back. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing what makes an ex come back. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you will be looking for any possible way to increase your chance of success. In today's podcast, I'll be discussing 3 elements of what makes an ex come back. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is growth in romantic emotional attraction. So when you and your now former partner were in a loving relationship, you were both feeling a high level of romantic emotional attraction for one another. Now, for various potential reasons, unfortunately for you, the dumpee, your now ex started to lose romantic emotional attraction for you. Now, when this hit the necessary low point, this is when, unfortunately, they actioned the breakup. They became the dumper and you became the dumpee. And at this moment, at the time of the breakup, the level of romantic emotional attraction that your now ex felt for you was very, very low. It doesn't necessarily mean that it had completely gone, but it was very low. It had hit the necessary low point for them to action the breakup. So, point number 1 about what makes an ex come back is growth in romantic emotional attraction. You need to grow the level of attraction that your ex feels for you in their mind for there to be any opportunity of them wanting to reconnect with you romantically. 2 people cannot be in a loving, romantic relationship where both people feel an equal amount of love and desire for one another if one or both people don't feel enough romantic emotional attraction. That is what makes a romantic relationship connect. So, your dumper doesn't feel much attraction right now, or at least at the time of a breakup. You need to take them to a point where they hit the necessary high point, where they start to reconsider their decision, where they reach out to you. So how can this happen? How can you, as a dumpee, grow attraction in someone else's mind? Well, we can only control the controllables. You can't control things that you are not able to control. You can only control yourself and your behavior pattern. So the first thing I would suggest you do is implement my version of the no contact rule. Now, for those of you who are not aware, the no contact rule is something that lots of people suggest you implement if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back. However, there are many different versions of a no contact rule that you can find online, and I believe that my version will give you the best possible chance of success. I believe this will give you the greatest opportunity of growing romantic emotional attraction from the point of where you are, from a place of where you are, from a distance. People always ask me, how can I grow attraction in my ex's mind if I'm not even with them? Well, if you implement my version of a no contact rule, this automatically gives you that starting position. Now, if you want to learn about my version of the rule and why I believe it gives you the best possible chance of success, I suggest that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and check out the playlist entitled The No Contact Rule. This will allow yourself to fully immerse within my version of the rule, and you will see why I believe it will give you that extra chance of success in comparison to some of the other rules that I've heard around the internet that I just simply don't agree with. Now, additionally, there are other things that you can do to grow attraction in your ex's mind, even from a distance. One of them is having good social media game. Now, again, I've done many podcasts on social media. So if you want to learn more about my viewpoint on this, check that content out. There are other hints, tips, and advice that you can find throughout my channel. But if you want specific, unique support, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your specific situation. Every scenario is different. No two people's situation is going to be exactly the same. And my podcasts have to be somewhat generalized. So if you want unique, specific support for you and your scenario, you may want to go to my website, www.dateme.tips, and check out the information regarding my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one, and I can become your coach and your teammate during your journey through breakup recovery and increasing your chance of one day getting your ex back. Look, even if you don't get them back, you can and will find somebody even better than your ex if you live your life the right way, improve every single day, and become a version 2.0. If you grow your attraction net, you will automatically be able to attract a greater amount and a better type of person than you previously did when you originally attracted your ex. If you're a better person now than you were when you attracted your ex, you will have more opportunities. So remember to live your life to the full, and if you want support in any way, shape or form, contact me via my website, www.dateme.tips, for more details on my audio coaching service. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about what makes an ex come back. And point number 2 is positive communication. So if you successfully grow romantic emotional attraction in your ex's mind, they will get to the stage where they likely reach out to you. If and when they reach out to you, you need to navigate the communication stage. Now, these can be choppy waters. This isn't always plain sailing. And you need to make sure you communicate in a positive and effective way to take you and your ex to the next part of a journey that I will be speaking about in point number 3. But right now, point number 2, positive communication. What do I mean by this? Well, again, if you want specific help, you may want to consider speaking with me via audio coaching. But right now, to give you a generalized concept of what I mean, I would suggest that you need to make sure that you keep things in a sense which is positive and also forward thinking, moving things along. So if your ex reaches out to you and just puts hi, okay, a lot of people might say, well, that is just a breadcrumb. There is nothing to respond to. I would say otherwise. I would say there is always a possibility of growing something. You can grow the largest tree from the smallest acorn. If your ex-dumper messages you hi, I would suggest you respond and put hi. How's it going? Nice to hear from you. Okay, you're keeping it positive and you're also moving it forward by asking a question. Now, I don't suggest you ask a question about the breakup, about relationships, about dating, nothing like that. But just ask a question back, keeping things positive, moving things forward. If you can do this, if you can grow the communication from the initial point your dumper reaches out, you will stand an excellent opportunity of moving things on to the next point that I will be speaking about shortly. It's also important to remember that if your ex reaches out to you in a negative way, you have to use your common sense. Okay, I'm saying be positive, I'm saying take things forward. But if you receive a message which you find to be abusive or very, very unfair, then of course use your common sense. Don't always respond blindly to something which is something that you need to be dealing with in a different way. Your mental health must come first. And if you feel that your ex is reaching out for a reason which isn't positive, then maybe not replying at all could be your best option. However, if you do believe that your ex has reached out for a reason which is genuine, which is honest, which is positive, then I do suggest you respond. Those people who say you need to almost punish your dumper by not replying within a certain amount of days, weeks or months, I would say that is unlikely to work in most instances. From my research, lots of dumpers have told me that they will only try reaching out once. So if you're in a position where you receive contact from your ex, it's honest, it's genuine, it's positive, it might not be the greatest amount of words you've ever read, but it could be something which you just see as an honest piece of communication. If you decide not to reply to this, some dumpers that have spoke to me have said that they wouldn't reach out again. They would see this as you almost saying to them, I don't want to talk. You've had your chance, go away. They would see it as you being awkward. They would see it as you saying to them, leave me alone, and they probably won't reach out again. So I do not suggest that you treat a dumper in this way, if you want them back, if you want your ex back and they reach out to you and you realise that it is honest, it is genuine, it is positive, it's not them having a go at you, it's not them being negative, it's not them being abusive, then why not reply? I think you should reply, try and grow that conversation. And as I said earlier, speak to me via audio coaching if you want specific advice on what is actually happening with you right now. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about what makes an ex come back. And point number 3 is attraction felt on meeting. So if you navigate the communication stage effectively, you will get to a point of where you arrange to meet each other. So if you get to meet your ex, it can be very exciting. You can feel that you've got them back, but at this moment you haven't. You've come very far, but you need to seal the deal, you could say, from when you meet. Now, I would say the aim of the first meet is for you and your ex to both want to meet again. There is no pressure for anything intimate to happen, for instance. But what I would say is there has to be a romantic vibe felt. If you come away from this meeting and you don't feel a romantic vibe, and or more importantly, your ex doesn't feel that romantic vibe, then you can't expect a romantic relationship to grow from this. So even though I don't think intimacy is a necessity on a first meeting, I would say you've got to feel the right vibe. It's got to be a romantic feel. So attraction has got to be felt on the meet. So what can you do to increase your chance of getting your ex back from meeting them? Well, I would say first concentrate on the fundamentals. Make sure you look your best. Make sure you smell your best. And make sure you be your best. Make sure you look in the mirror and feel that you look fantastic. Wear your best clothes, but make sure they are fitting for the type of meet that you're having. If you're going to go on a walk, you can't be wearing your best party clothes. If you're going to meet in a cafe during the morning, you can't be dressed like it's an evening meal. But similarly, if you are going out somewhere a little bit more special on this first meeting, make sure you look your best. And even if you're not, look your best for the occasion. Additionally, make sure you smell your best. So many people don't put enough thought and effort into that. It's very, very powerful and it's very, very important. But probably more so almost than these two things we just spoke of is be your best. You've got to remember that your ex, the dumper, ended the relationship with you. Now, why did they do this? Well, it could be for a whole manner of reasons as why they lost attraction. So that is why it is important to make sure your physical attraction is on point. However, emotionally, the way you speak to one another, the way you act and behave could be even more vital. Let's just say you were dumped for being needy. If you were being needy for the reason you were dumped and then you meet your ex and you're quizzing them and you're acting in a jealous way straight off the bat, that is not going to help you. Your ex isn't going to want to meet you again if they feel that you're still needy, that you're still jealous. Make sure you are cool, calm and collected. Make sure you are happy, carefree and fun. It's so important you're positive and not negative. Don't be jealous, don't be needy, don't be possessive, don't be any of those traits which come across as negative, as awkward, as standoffish. You've got to be the type of person that your ex wants to see again. Now, it's not just all on how you behave and how you look. You might go into this really, really wanting to get back with your ex, but when you see them, you think, wow, they haven't even made an effort, or they don't come across very well. If you feel that they're not putting in the effort, this could be what you need to realise that you can find somebody better than them. You might come out of this meeting with them wanting to see you again, but you not wanting to see them. This is a two-way street. It has to work for both of you, and if it doesn't, then it won't work. You don't owe them anything, just as technically they don't owe you anything. So even if they want to see you again, if you're not feeling the vibe, you shouldn't do it. It's got to be something that you both want to move forward with. If you can grow attraction in your ex's mind to the point of meeting them, and then you both feel attraction after the meet, this is a very good sign of you reconnecting on a more permanent basis, where you can grow a new relationship built on stronger foundations, which will hopefully last the test of time. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.